Guys, we've got ourselves NFL drama. We were waiting for it to happen, and apparently it is upon us. The trade deadline is November 5th, but let's not wait that long, because the worst-kept secret in the world was Davante Adams may finally want out of Las Vegas, and apparently the Raiders and him are now open to the idea publicly, and there is consideration, a second-round pick and other possible additions added into the package, but it looks like Davante Adams' time in Las Vegas could be coming to an end very, very soon.
VAR? Is that punting on the season? That's the first thing I thought about, because he's still, I mean, he's your best offensive weapon, right? Am I wrong there?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of if there's anybody. He's your best offensive weapon. So I don't understand. I've heard the rumblings. I heard the whispers that he's not happy in Las Vegas. But is it so bad?
Who do you hear that from, by the way?
I don't know. I don't really remember where I heard that from.
Okay.
You know what? I might have saw it somewhere. I didn't hear it from anybody. I saw it somewhere. Anyway,
I see you covering your tracks there. I see what you're doing.
I don't understand why it would be so bad that you want to get a trade, because here's the thing. Who's trading? Like, you're not necessarily going to go to a greener pasture. Now, is this an attempt to entice the New York Jets? I don't know, because of that bold proclamation Aaron Rodgers made. If you guys remember that they'll end up playing together again, is this him looking at, eyeing up a team, say the Cowboys or something to that effect? What does he have his eye on? Because if there is a trade that takes place, one of the teams that would make sense that I was thinking about would be possibly the New York Giants. They need another weapon to complement Neighbors. I started thinking of a couple other teams, but those teams aren't good. They're not good teams. So I don't know what the end result here is. The fact that now it's being discussed and it's being openly put out there that they're seeking a trade. They're open to a trade, and he wants to seek a trade. It just, to me, I don't know. Does that say that are they punting the season? Because I mean, you're still competitive. They're still a competitive team. They're above five. They're at 500, I believe. I don't understand the timing of it. After a win, I just don't understand the timing of it.
Yeah, it is interesting you bring that up. Like, it's not like the season's lost. It's not like they could have tried to do this earlier in the year before the season started. Maybe there was greater trade value. I mean, that's the reality of it. Is there were some teams who most likely would have loved to have Davante Adams on their roster before the season started, and for whatever reason, this, I guess, ends up being the timing at which he says, all right, this is. I want to be somewhere else. So I'm not sure if it has to do with, lack. It's not like lack of targets. I mean, he's getting a fair amount of targets. He had a huge game versus Baltimore earlier this year. It was his best game so far this season. Carolina wasn't quite as much. You look at the Chargers, maybe a little bit less. He probably sees the writing on the wall and looking at it saying, I am, 32, I believe, 31, somewhere in there, almost 32, and wants to be somewhere at the end of his career where he has a shot to compete as a playoff team, and maybe he doesn't feel like the Raiders are a playoff team.
He was talking with Kay Adams, no relation. Just want to make that clear to everybody. And apparently there's some post that went viral. Again, I'm not trying to, stir the pot anymore, LaVar. I'm not trying to get anybody dirty on any of this stuff, and I don't want to smear anything around here. But he was talking with Kay Adams because apparently there was a post that was put up that don't be surprised if Davante Adams has played his final game as a Raider. And Antonio Pierce, his Instagram account happened to like the post, and some people took note of that. And she asked him about it, so he responded to that, and then also talked about just where he's at from a mental standpoint with these rumors that are out there.
So this big story happens where they think your coach, or your coach did, I actually don't know, likes this post about you getting traded. How soon did you hear from Coach?
Yeah, I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him. So I haven't, I don't know. I don't really know exactly what that was about. Obviously, I got, social media is a beast. So it's a lot of people out there that saw it and, wondering what's going on and people reaching out. And I haven't spoke to him. Honestly, it's hard to comment on. And I'm sure you would imagine as such, but it's one of those situations where I just keep my head down and keep doing my thing and, let the chips fall where they may as it pertains to that. But there's been no communication with anybody from the team since that became a thing. But, it's kind of just like the weekly what's up with Tay thing. It's always some sort of drama. But at the end of the day, 1-7 doesn't create any of it. So people can say what they want, but I'm just chilling, trying to be the model for, not stirring the pot and just locking in and doing what I got to do.
But a lot of people think you may never play another down as a Raider. What would you say to that?
All I can control is this talk we're having right here. And then after we're done with this, all I can control is the next thing that I'm on to. So I'm going to get up in a minute and get a nice workout in, and that's all I can control.
Yeah, that's it. That's all he can control.
I don't know what that means.
The other thing is has Tay always been a third-person guy?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what that means. Do you want to be there or not? Say you want to be there. Say you want to be there, or say you don't want to be there.
I mean,
you have the opportunity to say it now, and no one's going to have an issue with it. Just say it.
They were Antonio Pierce was talking about business decisions, and everybody was wondering who he was talking about. And Davante Adams hasn't suited up since. So I'm just saying maybe that's where this kind of started to veer off.
I mean, he also said we're going to make business decisions.
Yeah. So
now we see these reports. So maybe it has become evident as to who he was discussing.
By the way, I'd also like to answer the question. Yes, he has played his final game as a Raider. He was scratched this past week. He's not playing again until he gets dealt. They're going to keep him healthy. It's gone. It's done.
Makes a lot of sense. I do think it's interesting, though, that, I didn't see this incident on Instagram. I'm not one that really follows social media that closely. So did Antonio Pierce really like something about him getting traded?
That's apparently what was taken notice. There were people noted that he liked to post.
VAR?
I don't know.
I mean,
I didn't see it. I was unaware of it.
He would do?
If that's what the report was, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I guess
I could easily see him looking at what's going on social media, and maybe his thumb might have got stuck on the post or something like that.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize
you should see my Instagram page that it's weird.
I hate when that happens, man.
What it's comprised of.
Yeah.
I feel like, is that where we're at nowadays, where NFL head coaches are sending their subliminal messages through what they're liking on Instagram?
That's what it sounds like in this case. I just don't.
Changed.
I don't. Yeah, it is. It has changed. It has changed. But one thing we do know for certain is that the Raiders are moving on from Davante Adams, and Davante Adams hasn't said anything, at least in that soundbite that we just heard.
1-7? You mean Tay?
Yeah, there wasn't nothing
that
he didn't define it. He didn't claim anything.
Right.
He didn't say, I would love to play on a Super Bowl contending team. He didn't say anything. He just said, I can control what I can control.
I'm glad you're bringing that up, LaVar, because it's time for another round of Jonas. What are the odds of the team that 1-7 that Tay Adams goes to?
Now, this should be noted here. Do we have any theme music we can throw on this? A little gambling.
I was really hoping
music?
Lee or Rana would pick up on that little song. Try to draw it out. There it is. I love this game show.
Now, it should be noted, these are not courtesy of our good friends at DraftKings, so these are just kind of being thrown out there courtesy of Bet Online. I want to be clear on that so everybody knows that we're on the same page here. here.
Clear. And who are we talking about? Is this Tay?
So this
is this 1-7?
Davante Adams, Tay, Adams, 1-7. Fresno State Bulldog, whatever you want to call him, these are the odds for his next team. Now, do you want me to start from 5 all the way to 1, or do you want to go 1 to 5? You guys
Why can't VAR and I just guess?
Okay. Take a whirl.
Okay. The New York Jets.
They are the favorite at plus 115. Next team for Tay.
Who wouldn't have ever thought about that?
All right, LaVar.
Like I said, why not stay in New York? The New York Giants.
All right, let me go all the way down to page 14 for that.
Dang.
Let me get there. It should
page
be here
14?
somewhere. They are at 50-1. They are actually right behind the New York Knicks as the most likely landing spot for Tay, or 1-7, if you will.
Dang.
So,
I know one.
The Knicks are dealing.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Third on this list at 5-1. By the way, do you actually think the Raiders would deal him to Kansas City?
I think he gets the best offer back in return, right?
Okay, that would be fun. He does owe Kansas City something. He shoved that photographer down a couple of years ago when he was with the Raiders. All right, LaVar, where else for Tay here? Where else for Tay?
Maybe the Patriots?
Ooh, the New England Patriots. Let me get all the way down.
Down to page 16. right behind the Boston Celtics. Sure.
Oh.
They are the Patriots.
Just call yourself 1-1,
Come on, 1-1.
Just call yourself VAR. Talk in third person.
The
VAR don't like it when Jonas start talking bad about LaVar.
Hey, that 1-1 doesn't like it when VAR talks.
Dang.
66-1 are the New England Patriots.
Okay.
I
know a team with a lot of cap space. The Washington Commandos.
Second on the list, 3-1 are the Washington Commandos.
Philadelphia's got a lot of receivers out right now.
LaVar, there's another team near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
That is out there.
Remember they tried to trade for one earlier in the year.
Hell yeah.
There's talk of it.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, 6-1 are the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Who did they try to trade for earlier?
City. Brandon Ayuk.
That's right. I'm glad we got that back up again in the conversation.
And then we've got number 5 on the list.
What about the Rams?
The L.A. Rams, 25-1.
Puka Nakua's not playing right now.
I can think of two teams that I feel like, I guess this one kind of has a number one. I was going to say the Packers.
10-1.
Because they've bragged about not having number one. He's going back there as a reunion with Jordan Love, familiar place. And then the Saints, although they have Olave, but
7-1. The Saints are up there as well too.
Yeah, if you look at the roster, they could for sure use him. And also, they've been competitive. They're looking at a, potential playoff team.
Don't we think the Dallas Cowboys could use another weapon?
Do they have the money?
Yeah, they have no money.
They could trade.
I know, but they need to have the cap space to absorb his contract.
They wouldn't be able to create that with the trade?
No, it'd be tough.
With a player, with players, not with draft capital.
Who are they going to swap? Mike Parsons?
Oh, no, but it could be
he's still on his rookie
else.
Deal. You have to. The person with the biggest cap hits Dak. It's you have to trade off one of DeMarcus Lawrence.
The Jets really...
he's hurt.
The Jets really do make the most sense just because the Hassan Reddick situation is not getting... He's not playing for the Jets.
Where's Baltimore? I feel like every time there's a receiver getting ready to get traded, Baltimore, someone's Baltimore could use him.
12-1 next to Buffalo on the list. So the Jets...
Buffalo's a good one.
Buffalo's a
good one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that is the look at the odds.